Well, no, I was upstairs and Sue's watching Elf.
Oh, really?
And I was upstairs and I'm watching Elf and I'm watching it for about 2 minutes. And I was like, all right, I'm needed on set. I was up there and it was the end, with James Caan and they're the going through the park and they're singing and stuff. And I was thinking, all right, I need to be downstairs here any minute now. But yeah, it's Elf. She's got Elf on, and it's snowing like a motherfucker. I guess it's not supposed to stop for 24 hours, which is insane because our snow removal guys, because we've got snow removal guys. They came by and the fucking sidewalk's already covered.
Wow.
So it's going to snow like a motherfucker. And if it keeps snowing like this for the next 24 hours, you're going to be getting a call, Paul, and you're going to say, save as many as you can. And then the phone's going to go dead.
Well, we've had a bit of snow over here as well recently.
Have you?
Oh, yeah. I went out the other morning and I thought, oh, my God, how am I going to get to work? There must have been at least 3 fingers of snow
Jeez.
on the ground. So,
Wow.
Oh, it took me all of 10 minutes to clean the car off. It was ridiculous.
I love seeing snow in the southern United States because they lose their fucking minds. They get 2 inches of snow in Memphis and there's car crashes everywhere and they're killing each other for supplies. And through my work, we have a thing where the planes fly into Memphis. That's FedEx's main hub.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And some of the stories that come out of there that they can't get the planes off the ground because there's like 4 inches of snow that's fallen. They just they don't leave in Memphis or they can't fly into Memphis, which is just insane to someone like that in northern Canada thinking, we've got like 4 inches of snow. The whole fucking city shuts down. Here it's Christ almighty, not even close.
Oh yeah.
Well, this is it. Yeah, it was -2 when I left the house the other morning, and like I said, there were about 3 inches of snow, and I thought, I suppose I better put a coat on.
Yeah. No, I actually thought it was supposed to stop for a little bit, but it looks like it's not. You're right, Scott. It's supposed to be snowing all day. And
Well, Sue said to me, she said, go ahead.
And it said, okay, sorry, I was looking at it wrong. Yeah, it's supposed to stop tomorrow. But
said to me, she said, it looks like it's going to stop. I was like, don't even bother looking at it. Weather forecasts are like Ouija boards.
Yeah.
They've gotten to the point where they know the thing, but they can't tell you where the clouds are going to move. They can guess, but it's an educated guess. It's really not a science in any way anymore. Okay. So.
Will you shut up, man? Guys, I'm bringing the party to you.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
You big dummy. Oh, great Odin's raven.
Say hello to my little friend.
I stepped in a ditch last night, man. I almost closed my balls off, man.
You take drugs, Danny?
Every day.
Good. What's the problem?
Yeah, Daisy.
Giggity, 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 giggity.
Oh, we know folks you'd fear well without.
I'm the doctor.
What's up, guys?
This aggression will not stand, man.
Engage. Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
So, hey everyone, welcome to the Pulp Culture Cafe, Season 12, Episode 320. So, we're actually probably up to around 500 with all the stuff I've done on my own shit. So, anyways. So I'm your host, one of the hosts, John. Also joining me like usual is Paul on these long podcasts. And Tits McGee. All right,
with a Z.
Scott with a Z. So, if you're here, you downloaded the last one, and you're here for the second one, great. If you're here just for this one, you're here this time. This is the second part of a 2-part we do usually once a month. And the second part is just basically a freeload because we try to get all the time sensitive stuff in the first one. This one, we just go ahead and do what the fuck we want, basically. We're all over the place. So I started the last one with my. Who wants to start this one? Come on, battle it out, fight.
Scott wants to do it.
All right. I watched a Tom Hanks film from 2022, and it was called A Man Named Otto.
Oh,
and
was it from 22? I thought it was last year.
I thought it was last year too, but with everything I googled, it said 2022. Maybe it was in the can for a while because of the old hack coughs and thing that was going on.
Yeah.
Susan didn't want to watch it. She said it was going to be depressing, and I'm thinking, well, I have to prove you wrong. So I watched it, and she wasn't wrong. It was a decent Tom Hanks film. It just didn't have that big event Tom Hanks. It wasn't Apollo 13. It wasn't Castaway. It wasn't Philadelphia. It was just a Tom Hanks film. And it was heavy into the progressive side of it. You know, it's like they've been handed down an edict in Hollywood that you have to have this, and this in your films now. And boy, did they take that to heart. And a bit of it was overboard. The acting wasn't too bad. Just some biting sarcasm on social media obsessed youth. They really took the piss out of him, which they kind of deserve to. Great chemistry between Tom Hanks and her name is Mariana Trevone. She played a character named Marisol. Really great actors. A few of them, I was thinking, if you didn't fit this box, you would not be in this film. And that's just the honest truth. The acting wasn't as strong. And when I researched the actors, they only had a part or two to their name. But I mean, it worked out overall. It was kind of a rough message of, you know, a man dealing with the death of his wife and the fallout from that. But Tom Hanks, you know, he's just such a good actor. You put anyone in a scene with him and it's going to bring them up instead of bringing him down. Yeah. So it wasn't bad as a Tom Hanks film. It was pretty good. Otto was kind of a grumpy old man. And, you know, he had that grumpy old man dialogue that they have in films. So a lot of his dialogue we could relate to, talking to the young kids, like, what the fuck, why are you doing this? What are you doing? You know, that type of thing. That makes for some good unintentional comedy. It's worth a watch just for his acting alone. And as I said, Mariana Trevine, who played Marisol, it was good for that. They had a warning beforehand because there are some heavy subject matter in the movie, but it's well done. So it's not a classic of Tom Hanks, but it's worth a watch.
Yeah, it's based on a Swedish movie, I believe.
I think German, but yeah,
German?
It is based on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's based on another movie. His son's in it. Like there's flashbacks between him old and him young. Yeah. And the minute I saw the kid run, I was like, that's fucking Tom Hanks' Run. And when I researched it, it's one of his sons.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm guessing that's why he did it too, just to get his boy into the business. So, but yeah, it's worth a watch. As I said, there are some heavy subject matter in it, but it's not bad. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Okay. All right. I've seen it. I put it on my watch list for Netflix, but I haven't been, because I know the background and what the story's about. Yeah. I have to be in a really good mood to watch it, so I don't get sucked down that tunnel.
John,
yeah.
You seem to be in a decent mood today.
Yeah.
I had this on my list, and I was like, I said to myself, depending on John's mood, I'm going to do this review, or I'm not going to do this review.
Yeah.
So, but it's all of his films are about survival in some ways, whether it be Philadelphia with AIDS or Apollo 13 getting back to Earth. But there's always a happy ending, and even at the end of this, it's like no one is an island. You need people around you, and there's always somebody that'll be looking out for you. And that was a good, it was a good metaphor and a good message.
Yeah. Like I said, I have to be drunk, maybe, to watch it.
he had a cat. I was like, more than once I was thinking, John could be Otto.
See, I have no idea what this film's about. I've seen it listed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not something that I've shown any interest in whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad. You have to be in a decent, and I mean, you have to be a Tom Hanks completionist, I guess is the best way to put it, because he's a good actor. He's, when you're watching it, you're saying to yourself, he brings every scene up by being in it. When if he wasn't there, the scene would have drowned because the acting on the other side wasn't very strong.
Right. He's an excellent actor, but his heyday is over. There was a period of time. I think so.
He opened up a film with what's her name from Forrest Gump.
Robin Wright.
$5 million on the weekend.
I don't think it's him. I think
no.
People won't spend the money on something new, even when Hollywood wants to take the risk. It's Chris Columbus that did this, isn't it? That did the other movie?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, here you've got two actors and a director, all strong backgrounds. And it can't pull in is because people don't want to spend their money on that type of film in the theater, and that time of, they can watch it on their phone. They won't spend the money on it.
The audience is different now. It's a different audience now. We've talked about this in the past. That's the problem. When I say Tom Hanks' heyday is over, I don't mean that he's not in his prime. He's not in his peak. He's an excellent actor. I mean, he doesn't carry the same popularity that he did. It's like people like us, like, oh yeah, Tom Hanks, he's absolutely amazing. Yeah, I'll watch it at home. Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I'll watch it at home. Yeah, but nobody's going to the cinema to watch Tom Hanks in a movie these days.
No,
that's the problem.
If he's in an action film or a comic book movie or something, that's they'll go. But those kind of movies are, and it's a shame you can't open up a theater and make a living theater that has small runs, like a small theater that isn't bought by that Disney comes in and says, we're going to buy your theater for 6 months and we're going to run our movie here. And they say, no, like, fuck off. I'm running small movies. I got a small theater. I'm making enough to pay you for the movie, and I'm making enough off of them that I can run this business to show movies for people who don't want to go see they want to see it in a communal setting, but we don't need this 300, 500, 600 seats and stuff. So
Cillian Murphy and his wife just purchased the only movie theater in their hometown.
Really?
And I'm thinking that is awesome. Well, because cool. he's going to do exactly what you just said, John.
Well, Kevin Smith has his own theater, right?
Yeah.
And he must hate the movie theater. The movies producers or whatever must kind of hate him, because he says, you can come in my theater, and if you want to sit there all day and watch that movie or go to the next one, go ahead. I don't care.
Yeah.
Says, but please buy some concessions. That's where I make my money. That's where I make the money for me to survive. You can jump from movie to movie. You can stay all there. I don't care. And I bet you I bet you they just love him saying that, right? But he bought a theater
all the time.
But he doesn't make money. He says he doesn't make money on big releases. He makes money on playing older movies, having like a theme sort of thing going on. That's where he makes his money at. That's where people come in by the droves or whatever to watch movie. He says very few movies. I can't give an example, but he says very few movies, big movies, come in and he sells out or gets a lot of people in. It's the smaller reruns of old movies and stuff. So, but I mean, if it would have been nice today, I have nothing to do. I might have went and seen. I tried to go see Venom, but I was out by the theater, but it was like 2-hour wait, and I don't feel like hanging around for 2 hours. So, but
we went to the cinema yesterday. We were going to go and watch Gladiator 2, and we got to the counter. We said 2 for Gladiator 2, and the girl behind the counter said, "Just so you know, the heating's broken in that screen, and it's really, really cold." So we said, you know what, we'll come another day.
Yeah.
So we were going to go to the cinema yesterday, but we didn't. So we're going to go next week instead. But our money isn't going to be included in this weekend's takings, just so you know.
Well, they said that it's headed, and I said that to people. Everyone's saying they're trying to do the same thing they did with Oppenheimer and Barbie. They're calling it, what are they calling it? Gladiator, Wicked opening on the same weekend, and they're trying to do that shit. And I said to them, there was someone that posted that this Wicked was going to do between 130 and 160 million. I said, be careful, because Joker did that because of Lady Gaga, and it didn't happen. And I'm saying the same thing about Wicked, and same with Gladiator. Gladiator opened with, I think, 6.8 million on the first. They're expecting it to open at 60 million. And I don't know how many people were saying it's going to be 100 million. It's going to be one of the biggest movies of the year. I'm like, you guys are fucking nuts. A lot of people are not going to this film on principle. They're like, it was a perfect movie, and I look at it same with the Back to the Future. It was a perfect movie. You didn't fucking need it. Ridley did it because he wants to get his dick hard again over his past glories, which is fine. And you listen to Russell Crowe, and you read between the lines, and he was doing a press conference for another movie. He said, I should be getting fucking paid money for all the questions I'm answering about this movie I'm not even in. He was pissed off. He said it was so weird. He said he was down in, I think, Italy, and they had rebuilt the Coliseum. He's like, it was so bizarre seeing that. I said, I know Ridley has an idea of what it is, but I'm not in the movie, and I wish people would stop asking me questions about it.
Yeah.
But people are asking him questions about it because they're tied to that nostalgia. But there's a group of folks that are like, no, I never wanted this fucking movie.
No.
I would have done, and you could have done a different Roman piece. Denzel Washington's a wonderful bit, but to call Gladiator 2 is just garbage.
Yeah.
And a lot of people aren't going. I'm not going.
I love Gladiator. Yeah. I watched that movie. We talked about it. I mean, I watched the movie.
Yeah.
Like a little while ago. And that opening scene with the arrows.
Paul and his wife decided to go.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, I'll be amazed if it's good. I'll be absolutely astounded if it's any good. We just want to go to the movies. We just wanted an afternoon out at the movies, get some popcorn, big bucket of Coke, and just sit and watch a movie for a couple of hours. Yeah. And that it was either that or Wicked. I ain't going to watch Wicked. So so that's the other reason.
Who knows? Maybe when you get done the movie, you go, fuck, I wish I'd watched Wicked.
Possibly. Yeah, possibly. But I'll report back on that next time because we're hoping to go and see it this coming week instead. But I'll be astounded if it's actually any good. I can't imagine it's going to be good.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Just the stuff I've been watching again. We're talking about animated shows in the first show. Another one that I caught up with, and then now I'm watching each show is American Dad.
Really?
It got really good. Like the start, I didn't like really. Yeah, it was funny, but gradually as the show went on, they found their groove in it. So I'm catching up on American Dad.
Patrick Stewart, and that was wonderful.
I love hearing him on that show. Something he says.
Choke me out. Choke me out while I stroke your hair. Just some of the he said in an interview where he said, I was doing plays, and he said nothing tickled me more than going on at night and then the next day going in and doing some of the raunchiest dialogue, and then going in and people talk to me at night and me knowing I just did the naughtiest stuff.
Yeah. I was amazed when I found out it was actually Patrick Stewart that was doing that voiceover. Yeah. I thought that can't be Patrick Stewart. Yeah. And it was.
Yeah,
and it was. It's like, oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah. A couple other things real quick. Man on the Inside. This being 2 weeks ago, but I'll have to catch up. But the first episode, it's with Todd Dance. Oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah. Ted Danson.
Ted Danson. Why did I say Todd? Yeah. Ted Danson. Todd and Danson. He plays him. He's an older gentleman who gets hired by a detective agency to go into this older folks' home to find out some jewelry's been stolen. This the children of the parent that's in there said this jewelry got stolen, so they hire a private. They hire him to go in and take it. And you know, the first episode was fine. I'll see what it's going to. But just something to watch about Ted Danson is just like, okay, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
He's just he gets, I think it's it can't be, but you can't tell now because they get older. But I know this actress's name or person. I've seen her featured, but for some reason I keep thinking it's what's her name from All in the Family, and I don't think she's around anymore.
Sally Struthers?
Yeah, is that who it is to play Gloria?
Yeah.
I don't know if she's alive or not.
I remember they used to make fun. She was a bigger girl.
Yeah.
And they would make fun of it because she used to do Africa, Kids for Africa donation. And they show cartoons of her eating all the food and everything because she was a big girl back in the day.
I only don't think it up. I should have looked it up, but I just stuff it. So I'm gonna continue to watch. It's all on Netflix. You can watch it all at once. But he looks a little out of place. It's a comedy drama sort of thing. I've been watching Bottom on
right.
I've seen episodes, but now sometimes when I just want something to watch different, I watch that. I can't get over how those guys didn't freaking physically break something. I don't know the way they do their stunts and stuff like that on the physical comedy into it is just.
Yeah. I believe the live shows are very good. If you get the chance to watch one of the live shows, a recording of the live show, obviously.
Yeah, I've seen it quick where they've gone off.
Have you?
Script or whatever, and the audience are laughing and they're very kicked up. So, and then I've been watching old Doctor Who with Matt Smith.
Matt Smith, right?
Yeah, and because I'll just segue real quick because I've just finished one of a Doctor Who novel. And it's with the 11th Doctor, and it's really interesting. I'm reading the book, I'm reading it, and I'm hearing his voice.
Yeah, it's the best way to do it.
I hear his voice when he's talking, his mannerisms and stuff like that. And so the one I read, it's what is it here? Plague of the Cybermen. I like when they do different stories, but I tell you, I'm a big fan for the old villains, Cybermen, the Daleks. Those I mean the Weeping Angels, the newer one that created that one too. I just the Ice Warriors. I just love when their stories involve those those things. When they go off script or whatever on different trying something new, as I said. But this one, the Doctor arrives in a 19th village in Kilmenberg, which I don't know where that is, somewhere in Europe. They discover that the residents are suffering from a plague. They found this metal and they've been carving stuff out of it. But what actually happened is that the metal's got radiation, and it's radiation poisoning that's killing the people. And they talk about the plague warriors that come out to get them, but it finds out eventually what had happened is a crashed cyber ship, and it's a large ship. At first, the Doctor thought it was just a small ship. But it actually has a shitload of Cybermen in it. So like a colonization ship. And then his interaction with there's the watchmaker, which is they think he's kind of says he's a doctor, but actually he's just a watchmaker. And you find out eventually the reason they use him all the time is that he's been scavenging parts from Cybermen, learning how they use. And then using them to create certain people so that just so that they can continue. I try to explain in my mumble, but like there's the king of the lord of the castle has a cyber hand. We find out later that his family are basically constructed from cyber material, and they have human elements to them, but it's to keep this family alive for the townsfolk. And as I said, you hear Matt Smith talking, mannerism, and then I watched like an old Doctor Who, and it helps with that because if you're really into, and then the other thing, it's an old story where basically all they're talking about is the Doctor trying to solve this mystery, why people getting sick, how they defend against the Cybermen, how they defeat the Cybermen. There's nothing else in it. It's a science fiction story.
Classic Doctor Who.
Yeah, and that's what you want. I kind of read the synopsis of it, but I don't know if anybody will want to read it. But it's what I read, and I've got another series, a whole bunch of Doctor Who books to read. Some of them are just reprints of the TV series, and but I don't want, these are newer novels. So it's when you're reading, you're picturing him saying these things and his mannerism, his face. What I really find interesting is they can write for the Doctor, how he expresses himself in that situation, how he answers. She asks the girl that's helping. She asks 4 questions, and when he answers all 4 of them, but it doesn't make sense. But in his mind, he's answered them, because he didn't answer one individually. He answers them all at once, and she goes,
Right.
"What you talking about?" Well, I answered your question. Oh. So you can see that Matt Smith character, Doctor Who, doing that. But they have some books out with the new Doctor. I may pick them up to see if they concentrate on story without doing anything else. Having certain characters in it are fine, but like Scott said on the last podcast, you don't have to explain it to us. Just tell us and we'll move on. Don't explain it to us. So, through my mumble, I'm probably the worst reviewer of the 3 of us because I can't do it very well.
You mentioned Weeping Angels.
Yeah.
I've never watched Doctor Who. However, I have watched clips online of famous moments, which really has wanted me to dig in and watch it from the beginning, but it's almost overwhelming. But the Weeping Angels, that scene, I just watched it the other day, and I watched it a couple of times. When they're in the graveyard, and they come back, and he notices the tombstone, and that whole 5-minute scene where she turns around, she says, "Raggedy Man, goodbye," and pops out of existence.
Yeah.
And the musical orchestral music afterwards, I could feel people crying 14 years ago.
Yeah.
That was such a powerful scene. And I don't know the context behind it, but I remember thinking to myself, that's what made me want to watch it. But I remember thinking to myself, that must have just fucking devastated people 14 years ago when it originally played.
Yeah. The one thing I don't like about Doctor Who is that they don't want to follow their own book. The Bible. They just scratch, just like the modern Bibles, they rip out pages and put stuff in so it suits them. So
is that the Weeping Angels? Same characters?
Yeah, what they did. Now I watched the one with the Weeping Angels here where they go, and in that one they unlike the one you just talked about where you think they didn't explain it. You think that they're dead, and in the first one they kill the people.
Okay.
As they move on, they change that to where they actually will grab you and they feed off the energy of sending you back in time, or something like that. So actually, what happened there is that she went. Her husband had gotten attacked by the Weeping Angels and gets it, and she couldn't live without him. Rory.
Yeah.
And
Exactly. Yeah.
So she decided that she wanted to be with him.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the whole scene I watched, like 5 minutes long, where he's like, "You can't go back." He's like, "We'll just take the TARDIS back. We can't do that. We'll destroy New York." And that 5-minute scene, I was watching. I'm thinking, I love watching scenes like that because I think to myself, people must have just been fucking. There must have been literally people openly weeping when that scene was going on.
Well, you live with these characters for 4 seasons.
Exactly. Yeah.
4 seasons and to develop, and Moffat did a great job. I don't, there's everybody has their own opinions of him, but I really enjoy the way he wrote his stories, and they're connected all the way through, small little things. But you took a character that her first thing was she had a hots for the Doctor, and then come to realize that she actually does love Rory.
Yeah,
and then she's making a sacrifice by leaving the Doctor, but she's going back, and her whole timeline will be different. And later on, if you go online somewhere, there is a scene in which they didn't film where Matt Smith meets Rory and am I going brain dead?
At the wedding?
Well, they know at the wedding, but he meets their child from that different timeline.
Yeah.
And
that's River Song, isn't it?
No, not River Song. It's a different one.
Oh, is it? Oh.
Yeah, because River Song's still in the timeline with the Doctor, but that different timeline, or where that went back in time, they're on Earth, and they have a family, and and it's sort of a connection. He kind of has a feeling he knows Matt Smith. Somewhere along, you can go on YouTube and you'll find it. They didn't put it in the series.
Anyway, I was just saying that I will pick out different scenes, and every scene that I pick out, whether it be the Doctor Who, the older gentleman, and his name escapes me. Peter, no,
that's Peter Capaldi, but that's the newer one.
He's the one that came after Matt Smith.
Yeah, are you talking about the newer one or the original guy from back in the 60s?
No. I'm talking about he was new, but Peter Capaldi. That'd be it.
Yeah.
Him and River Song when they're on the ship and they're trying to escape, and he's like, he would never come back for me. He's like, and she didn't realize she was in the room with the Doctor at the time.
Yeah.
And that whole scene was just hilarious. And I'm thinking, when I watch those scenes, and also Leonardo da Vinci at the Louvre, and Bill Nye was in it. He's like, he's the greatest, and I'm thinking to myself, God Almighty, I want to know what leads to these scenes. So it's funny, I haven't watched Doctor Who, but I've seen a ton of clips, and each clip I'm thinking, fuck, this is just a great series.
Some are really good. Yeah, some are really good.
Yeah.
I don't think you can go wrong with any series that's got David Tennant or Matt Smith in.
Yeah.
The writing in the Matt Smith era was pretty much excellent. There was some really, really good stories and really good writing in the Matt Smith era. One of the episodes, an absolute classic line, one of my favourites, and you might want to YouTube this because it's pretty good to watch, but I'm going to spoil it here. But so Amy Pond goes missing. She gets kidnapped by some aliens or something and gets taken away. So Rory and the Doctor are looking for her. And right at the start of one of the episodes, so she gets kidnapped, and then a cliffhanger, week after, new episode, and Rory appears on the Cyberman ship. And he's stood in front of these Cybermen, and you've got this window behind them, and you can see the Cyberman fleet out behind them, and there's countless ships, and each ship's got thousands and thousands and thousands of Cybermen on it. And Rory's just stood in front of this, like Cyberman Prime or whatever the hell they call them. And he says to him, I've got a question and I've got a message. So the Cyberman's sort of like, they're going to kill him. So it's sort of like just scoffs, sort of like, well, okay, Earthman, what's your question? He says, where's my wife? And the Cyberman says, and what's the message? And then behind him, out of the window, all of the ships start to explode, killing thousands and thousands and thousands of Cybermen. Yeah. And when they finish exploding, Rory says to him, now, where can I find my wife? Or do you want to hear the message again? And it was cool as fuck. It's one of the coolest things I have ever seen in a Doctor Who episode. Nice. And even though you know what happens, it's worth watching on YouTube because it's so fucking cool.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. But have you guys heard whether it was canceled or not?
No,
they had a really, really low rated. Like it's funny, just from hearing the news, they were saying this is the lowest rated Doctor Who ever, and the season just ended, or the specials ended, and no one's talking about it.
Christmas special coming out, which you might try. I know. Yeah, I have to try and go and rate each one as an episode and see what they do in the episode and find out which one I like. But I believe they're going to do another season, right? But
I believe so.
If, and this is a big if because I don't know what goes on in their minds, if it's still crappy, they're going to have to change the way they write. Either get a new actor, and I have no problem with this actor. I think he's a really good actor. But they might have to change and get a whole different team in there, a new showrunner, and stop writing. Because as I go back and I watch some of they started to have a tendency for some reason to have romance in the series. Now it wasn't blatant certain stuff, but the one thing I enjoy about the older series, it's just sci-fi stories. Yeah. That's it.
Keep them off social media. And keep the fuck off social media.
I just want sci-fi stories. I don't care. You know, if suddenly someone shows in a scene and she says, "Oh, my wife's at home," and they move on, that's great. Move on, but don't emphasize on it. We don't need to know. It's just like he's straight. Okay, let's move on. You know.
Yeah.
So that's just my thought. Again, I think in a quick side note, we both watched Bill Maher last night. And a lot of stuff they're talking about, I agree with. You know, sometimes it takes someone to sit back and read and have someone else talking about stuff, right? And when they had Neil deGrasse Tyson on there, and he wouldn't answer a question, and that guy said, "I can tell you why he didn't answer it. He's scared,
terrified."
Yeah, the social.
Well,
media.
even when what's her name, Donna Brazil. When he mentioned the 3 reasons why they may have lost, he mentioned one of them was that extreme wing, and she refused to agree with it. She said, "I'll agree with the first 2, but I won't agree with the third one because they'll come after me." And it's bizarre. It's weird the way social media is used for fear so effectively. It's really weird. But you're starting to see it change. You're absolutely starting to see it change. I mean, Brian Williams the other day on the news said. He said everything, and it's funny because he was on late night, and the guys just looking at him like, "I can't believe you're saying this." It is changing, and I think hopefully it changed for entertainment also.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I hope it does, and then, but yeah, I know you said you wanted to go back and start and watch them, but really, I would watch from Christopher Eccleston up.
I might try that, but my OCD will probably cause me to get up on the roof naked in the middle of the night.
But here's the thing.
Well, here's the thing. It all, so.
Because they don't follow any Bible, right? Yeah. It doesn't mean there's going to be. They may say something about a story in the past. They may use characters, but there's no big connection. Are you pissing in a bottle?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I think. Everything from Christopher Eccleston onwards, you're probably worth watching every episode because I think there might be a small amount of cross-referencing.
Yes.
Only a small amount. And then they do sort of, I think they do reference some of the older episodes, like they bring back some of the older characters at some point.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to be familiar with their adventures to appreciate that they're bringing back some of the older faces of the Doctor. Yeah. The stories relating to them aren't important. They're just showing you these are just for nostalgia. Here are some of the old actors.
I love that nostalgia. The BBC stuff from like the 1960s and 70s. Even when what's your favorite Doctor Who, John?
Tom Baker.
Tom Baker.
Yeah, I've heard nothing. I've heard nothing but good stuff about Tom Baker. So I kind of want to see. I kind of want to see Tom Baker's Doctor Who to see, little Paul and little John and their 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds, and imagine what was going through their minds when they saw big fuzzy-haired Tom Baker back in the 70s. I want that experience.
I was in my teens. Okay.
Oh, teens. There you go.
Thanks for making me feel younger, but thanks.
I was younger. I was a lot younger. I was hiding behind the sofa because I was terrified of the Daleks at that point. Terrified.
Really?
Oh, fuck yeah. I can't remember whether I've ever told you the story, but I took the kids to a Doctor Who exhibition years ago, and we walked in through the door, and in the reception area in the lobby was a Dalek just floating around, talking in the Dalek voice and all. Perfect.
May as well have been a fucking clown,
it was probably an actual Dalek, because it wasn't an actual Doctor Who exhibition, so it was probably an actual Dalek. And I won't lie, I felt the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. I was uncomfortable around that thing. Even now, as however old I was at the time, in my 40s, 30s, fuck knows, I don't know. And I knew that it was just some like plastic with that it was probably remote controlled at that point, but there'll be some guy peddling it around back in the 50s and 60s or God knows else. But yeah, I won't lie, I felt uncomfortable. Even after all those years, I used to be shit scared of the Daleks. Terrifying. Oh, absolutely.
See, stuff like that makes me want to watch it now. That.
But yeah, if you're going to watch anything, then I would watch the Tom Baker series. And the coolest thing about that is there was an episode, and I think it might have been Matt Smith, and they're in a museum at the end, and it's not, I don't think it's the Leonardo da Vinci episode, but they're in a museum, and the curator or whoever comes over, and it's Tom Baker.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, it's Tom Baker. And he's having a conversation, and you're thinking, that's really cool that they brought Tom Baker in. But the exchange that they have, and Tom Baker sort of like gives him a look and gives him a wink, and it's like, is it?
Yeah.
Is that like, and you just don't know. It leaves you really vague, Is it the Doctor?
Yeah.
Or is it not? Because he knows he's the Doctor. He's like, oh, fucking hell. And that gives you goosebumps.
And the thing is, like I said, because they don't follow the Bible, Tom Baker, when he left, he regenerated, right? He was still a young actor. But here he is an older actor. But because it's Doctor Who, no one goes, oh, that can't happen. He regenerated when he's this. We've gotten used to it being so fucking loosey-goosey that we go, oh, it could be the Doctor, right?
It could easily be the Doctor, yeah. So, there's no hard and fast rules with Doctor Who. They just do what they want. They just make shit up. When they first started writing Doctor Who, they wrote into the backstory that he could only regenerate something like 13 times.
Yeah.
And by the time, because they never expected it to be going for like 50 years. So when they got to like the 13th Doctor, they had to rewrite it. They had to sort of like just reinvent a backstory or an excuse why they could keep on going. So they make shit up. They change the rules all the time. They change the rules to whatever they need the rules to be.
And when a new showrunner comes in, it's like all new rules.
Yes, it's very fluid. Yeah.
I remember when we first started the show, I made a terrible comparison to the fact that Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and Star Trek and Doctor Who was the outlier because my understanding is, Paul, you drove into a pole as I said this. You were like, what the fuck are you saying? I know it has a huge following in the UK, but yeah.
It's a huge show, absolutely huge. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, don't talk shit about Doctor Who. I'll be on the next plane over.
I remember you saying,
well,
like,
just let me know, Paul. I can bitch slap him from here for you.
Yeah.
Now, this is from Paul.
Like,
Mac.
I'm sat there listening, like, who the fuck is this cunt?
I remember that like 6 years ago. You're very it was like I thought it was not very offensive, but I guess our UK audience is very offended by it. So,
you're on the watch list.
The cleanse, true enough. I was actually cleanse that palette, Canary Black.
Oh yes, we should have talked about that last show. I totally forgot about. Yeah.
Is it just me, or is it the same film that we watched a couple of months ago?
Okay.
Yeah. It was.
I mean, that's
even the twist in air quotes at the end about the love interest actually being the bad guy.
I have that. Yeah. Here's the little things. What did I write down here? I wrote down a couple of things. Okay. First thing that always pisses me off about the movie. Oh, sorry. Canary Black starring Kate Beckinsale. She's another CIA agent, black ops sort of person in it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the movie that we decided we were going to watch, all three of us, so we can talk about it. Maybe it's just so unrememberable that that's why we forgot.
Yeah.
I remembered it because I just watched it this weekend. I remember thinking to
I
myself,
watched it last night.
it's prime porn. It's the same fucking thing with a pop shot at the end. It's the same fucking movie. It's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Even right at the very end, when she gets recruited by someone else into another agency.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same ending.
That's it. I said, okay, so let me, I'll write down a couple things here. So she, again, this pisses me off all the time. She's wearing high heel boots.
Yeah.
You're an agent running around.
I put that in the fucking thing. I mentioned it last time. I'm thinking, fuck me. Are you kidding me? She did it again.
Yeah.
Anyway,
High heel boots. Why? They cannot run around in high heel boots. Okay.
Nope.
Fuck that shit. The first part of the show when she's fighting all those guys, they must have used super glue to keep that wig on. Because at the end she just flips it off, but all the other shit she's doing is staying on.
There was a point where the guy that she's drowning reaches back and starts pulling her hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. And it doesn't come off then. But all she needs to do is just like give it a bit of a waft, and it just flies right off her head. It's like, what the actual fuck?
I thought the one thing cool was, I wrote down David. That's her husband. How do you know he's going to end up being one of the bad guys? Kind of right on that, but I called that right from the start. The one scene I thought was kind of interesting was the bouncing Betty scene, where she took her foot up, it bounced up.
That was I don't think I've seen that in a movie before.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
The neighbors put a question night beside them. Kind of have a feeling they were bad people.
Oh yeah.
I thought this is interesting. Yeah, I thought this is interesting, but I think it should be in a better movie. Is the nuke virus? That thought it was interesting. That virus.
It isn't a better movie.
Huh?
It's Mission Impossible. It isn't a better movie. It isn't a better movie right now. It's Mission Impossible.
Which one?
That's the fucking storyline. I was thinking they stole it and did a shitty version of it.
Really?
The last Mission Impossible?
Yeah.
That's it. It's the same fucking storyline. Insane.
Oh, okay.
Insane.
And then I wrote down a second attempt to create a franchise for her. Right?
Yes.
Second attempts. Yeah. You're correct. You're totally right. Exactly the same fucking ending.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on. I like Kate Beckinsale, but this is just rewriting trash and hoping no one knows.
Pop shot on her face all over again.
And that I would like to see. But but the only thing that stood out to me was Ray Stevenson. Right?
Yes. I didn't know he was in it. That was a pleasant surprise.
And that's the last film, which is just
so I try and look at something good, but nah. I hope I hope they realize it. Stop it. You're not going to get a franchise from her in this.
You did though. They did though. Underworld was a fucking awesome franchise.
They're not going to get another one.
You guys ever watch Homeland?
Yes.
No.
Rupert Friend, the boyfriend, how fucking good of an actor he is.
Yeah.
It was like watching a cardboard cutout do a scene. That guy is such a versatile actor, and to have him in this little tick turd of a scene, generic, one-dimensional bullshit scene.
Yeah.
Ray Stevenson, this is his last work. Again, it was just very generic as the mentor.
Mm-hmm.
The film looked great, decent soundtrack, but the script was the shits.
Yeah.
It just.
I think everyone involved in that movie, it was like a side hustle. It wasn't the primary gig. It wasn't something that everyone was really committed to. It's something.
One of those movies where they needed money to pay for a new house or pay a bill.
Yeah.
That's the impression I got. Yeah. No, like you said, it wasn't a bad movie as such. I didn't think, oh my god, this is fucking awful. It just wasn't very good.
Yeah.
If you see what I mean.
No, I know exactly what you mean. My thing is, I've always used this as my rating system. Long time ago, there was a movie called Virus. And
Natasha Hendricks.
No, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Species.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah. And it was about. I read the comic book. Fucking comic book was great. It's about aliens. And they were using human body parts and mechanical stuff. they were on a ship and they're attacking people and stuff, but it would rip parts of the ship away and parts of the humans and combine them into the thing, into one unit. And I can't remember, it's been such a long time, but I went and saw the movie because I enjoyed the book so much, and I fucking hated the movie. It's one of the movies that I think is fucking a piece of shit. So to me, this is not as bad as Virus. I watched it. I got a giggle. It was almost one of those movies where you sat back and I did it. I played on my phone. Okay. Play on my phone. Okay. Because we were going to, it's one of the movies we were going to, good or bad, we watch it. So
yeah. I did if I'm being honest, halfway through the movie, I started playing on my Nintendo Switch. I just left it on in the background, and then if it sounded like there was a gunfight or something, then I'd look up and right, okay. Because you said something about some virus or other nuke virus or that. I thought that doesn't ring a bell at all. I don't remember that. Because anything at all to do with the plot, I just switched off on, and I said, "I love fucking." Okay, interested in this.
That's what we want. We want our honest opinion on this thing. So
I have a movie. I have a movie for next time.
Okay.
I started watching this movie yesterday. I got 5 to 8 minutes in, and I said, "This is fucking hilarious." And I said, "We'll use this movie." It's called Old Dads. It's Bill Burr's movie on Netflix.
Oh, I've watched that.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's too bad. I can't speak to the rest of it, but I was like, someone opened the door and said, "Are you all right in here?" Because I was laughing at my fucking desk at the office.
Yeah.
But he says, "Well, you're being such a cunt." Just like it's the comedy that they used to do, and he does it.
He does it still on stage. Yeah, he does the same thing on stage.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll pick something else. That's fine. We'll pick something else.
Yeah.
That's it I've got for we're just bouncing around anyway.
Yeah, we're just bouncing around. You do whatever you want.
Yeah. I have been reading Captain America. I think I've mentioned this. J. Michael Grabaski, I think his name is. I can never pronounce it.
I was going to say, did you say Grabaski?
Grabaski. I can't remember his last name. He's terrible. He's a fantastic writer. He's written TV shows. He wrote what was that was on TV? Farscape?
There was a Farscape on TV. Didn't watch it.
Yeah.
J. Michael, he wrote
Babylon 5.
Babylon 5, yes. He wrote Babylon 5. And he's a fantastic writer. And he took over Captain America there it's been about a year and a half now. And he's written some stuff for that new startup, the new series with what the hell's that name of that comic company that we enjoyed the books from, John?
AWA?
AWA. He's written for AWA, The Resistance.
Mm-hmm.
And again, he is a writer, and I call them graphic novelists because they write novels within this graphic realm. And he's been working on Captain America, and they started a storyline arc last issue in issue 14. And it's going to run 14 to 18. It's got Captain America in it. It's got Thor in it. It's got Spider-Man in it. And I'm thinking, awesome. He took these 3 classic heroes that you rarely ever see in almost like a Marvel team up situation. Did you guys collect Marvel Team Up at all?
No, I don't remember a lot of it. No.
Well, it was like it ran 150 issues.
I have some. I'm not saying I haven't read them. I've read some.
Okay, yeah. You would have basically they would have team ups, but I can't remember ever there being a time with Spider-Man, Captain America, and Thor in a team up, and it's incredibly well written. The dialogue's there. It's character driven. There's some ball busting. You've got Spider-Man who's in awe of working with this god in Captain America, and there's some yucks at Captain America's expense because he's from the past, and Spider-Man being the wisecracker that he is. And all the jokes land, which is really important if you're going to do that kind of shit. And it's basically a story. And I liked when a writer comes on to a book, and just by the stuff he's writing that he's read probably the 50 issues beforehand, and he'll reference something and build onto it. That to me is a sign of a good writer, when he knows what's come before and he can incorporate that into his stories. And I don't know whether you guys read. It was about 10 years ago where Thor, all the members of Asgard had to go to a place called Bronxton.
The Bronx? New
No,
York?
the Bronx. It was in Oklahoma. It's a town in Oklahoma. They all had to go to Oklahoma, and it kind of led into not Civil War. What was that crossover? It was in like 2011, where they all had to. It was around. I think it was around Civil War. I think it was around the time they did Civil War. Oh, wait a minute. What's going on here?
Oh, you're frozen up at our end.
Yeah. Can you hear us?
What's going on here?
You're frozen. We can hear you.
We still hear you, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm back. Am I back?
No, not here. You're not.
Look at that mug. Hoo-wee.
You're like a young Josh Brolin.
You know what I look like? I look like one of those what's those British puppets?
Oh,
Fitting image.
Yeah.
Fitting images. Look at that thing. God damn it. I am froze up. That's weird.
Okay. Well, we can still hear us and keep going.
That's fine. So basically he's writing a really good story in that vein, and I hope he stays on there for at least another year because he's a really good writer, and it's given a big boost in the arm to Captain America because the last writers, not bad, but they went into places that they probably shouldn't have and made stuff lore that they probably shouldn't have too. And he didn't really get rid of it, but he kind of took Cap back to basics, which I think was very well done. So I'm actually frozen.
Yeah, you're frozen good.
You're proper frozen.
Yeah.
Let it go. Let it go. So that's it for Captain America. If you're looking for a really good, well-written book and you're a wordsmith, that's a book to pick up.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I was just thinking, I'm going through here. They were bouncing around. Did you see that the voice actress that does some of the characters on The Simpsons, like Nelson?
Yeah, she's retiring.
Yeah, she's retired.
Yeah. 35 years of doing that show.
Millhouse,
Sorry,
amazing.
It's Millhouse, yeah.
Yeah.
Millhouse and a few other of the characters. And it's like, holy shit. I wonder who they got in the background to bring her up. I mean, people are going to notice. But at least she's
Will they?
it.
With AI, will they notice?
Yeah, you're true.
Possibly.
I wonder if some sort of deals they struck so they could do her voice for that show. And use
And
it.
now you're all frozen. Okay.
Now we're all frozen? Wow.
Yeah, I might have to log back in and log back out just to
Okay.
kind of break this up. Hold on, let me just
Yeah.
clear this out. Weird.
But yeah. We're gonna wait. Come on, hurry up. Why?
Yeah.
It's not even...
Well, I started watching the latest season of The Simpsons. I don't know how long it's actually been out, but it just dropped on Disney Plus over here.
Yeah.
Well, probably a few weeks ago now, actually. And I'm starting to notice now. It's just that the voice actors are getting quite old and they just don't sound the same,
Mm-hmm.
or they've brought in different voice actors. Because I think I was listening to Mr. Burns. I thought Mr. Burns just doesn't sound the same.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely doesn't sound the same, but I don't know whether it's a different actor or not. So I think, I suspect if you're listening to a voice and it doesn't sound the same, it's probably the same actor who's just got very, very old.
Yeah.
I think if you're listening to a voice and it sounds pretty much the same as it always has, that's probably AI.
Yeah.
Or someone who's doing an impersonation like Rick and Morty.
You know, Scott brought that up. I mean, there's a good chance they'd go AI because they're not going to want to sign someone to a contract when they can just create their own voices and they're not cost them any money, right?
Well, exactly. It's the way forward, isn't it? Because you only need to pay for the rights to use the voice once, and then you can do what you want with it.
Yeah. You know, the good thing would be if I was an actor, if you could, is you pay to use the voice, but like anything else, like TV residuals, every time that show is repeated with that voice you created from my voice, I get paid for it. I get a lump sum at first, but every once in a while I'll get a check once a month from you guys for using my voice for an episode that I use in my voice. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
definitely do that if it was me. Not just okay. Well, here's the rights to use my voice, and I don't get nothing from it. So,
no, that definitely makes financial sense. And these days, you can do that. This, it's legit. You could definitely do that these days. So it'll be interesting to see going forwards, because The Simpsons isn't going to last forever, or the actors who are doing it at the moment aren't going to last forever. I think this, I forget the name of the actor who's retiring, but I think that's probably just the first.
Pamela Hayden.
I think that's it. Yeah, I think we're probably at a stage now where, now that she's gone, I think there's probably going to be a few more who are thinking, actually, you know what? I've made a lot of money doing this. I don't need to do it anymore. It's been fun, but I'm out. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. No, you can only go on for so long, right? I mean, I don't know if you've watched them, but they're, really stretching for content and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's nowhere near as good as it used to be.
No,
nowhere near as good. It has its moments, but it is definitely gone beyond its prime.
Yeah, I think it is just because maybe it's cheap. It could be cheap, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it's costing them to do an episode, but it can't be as much as it used to, right?
No,
because they have all the stuff they can use.
Yeah, because I think the majority of it will be done by computers now. So all the assets and the animation and everything will all be programmed in. They can probably knock an episode out in the space of a day.
I don't know if they still send it to Korea or not.
I don't know, actually. I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So.
Oh, well.
But the other thing I got here, Alan Tudyk. The name.
Yeah.
Okay. He's going to be playing Clayface in the Creature Commandos.
Is he?
Yeah. So he's doing the voice, and according to James Gunn, the people who are doing the voices are going to be in the role on the live action part, right?
Oh, interesting.
So
okay,
there'll be a lot of CG. You'll be walking around with a bodysuit with dots all over him, doing the voice, a lot of CG.
Well, I mean, speaking of that, did you see the trailer for the new season of Andor? Because they're bringing in K2SO, the robot from Rogue One. Because Alan Tudyk did the voice for K2SO, so he's going to be in that. He's going to be in Andor as well. So the point is that he's no stranger to walking around wearing the ping pong balls and the CG suit. So that'll be good to see. Because other than that, I've got no interest in Creature Commandos at all, if I'm being honest.
No, I mean I'll watch it on the animated stuff just for the. It may be another one of those shows you have on, you're interested, but it's not grabbing your attention good enough.
Yeah, no, that's right. It'll be one of those things that I'll just watch in the background, like with a lot of things these days. Because there's so much to watch. Sometimes you've got to watch it in the background.
Yep. Speak.
I'm here.
Okay, there we go. I can see you, but I needed to hear you speak. So. But
I'm right here.
Yeah, so we were just talking about Creature Commando and Alan Tudyk doing a voice of Clayface. Yeah. But I was just saying,
I think that's a good choice.
But also, James Gunn said that they're going to use the same actors in the live versions. So we're just saying Alan's going to be walking around in a ping pong suit, and then Andor. I thought one of the problems I don't watch, like I have a bunch of trailers I watch, but I'm always worried that I'm looking at a fake one.
Yeah.
Because there's so many fake ones out there now.
Yeah.
That I have to be real careful to make sure. Like they've got trailers showing what's his name in from Thunderbolts, the superhero guy, the Superman type guy.
Sentry.
They've got pictures or showing him in the suit and everything like that, and that's fake. I know that's fake. They haven't done anything with that yet. So
it is.
It's like really very careful. But
it's funny. There's some trailers that's actually better than the actual trailers they put out.
Which
is unfortunate.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of Trek? What'd you guys think of that video?
Well, did you see that? The one with William Shatner?
I loved it. Yeah,
I
loved it.
Like I said to you, Scott, I was amazed and scary, eerie at the same time.
Yeah. I was absolutely convinced that it was something that a bunch of art students had put out on the internet. And I thought, wow, that's going to get taken down really quick. But right at the end, when you see the credits, it's like, oh shit, no, this is legit. Yeah. This is an official product. But I had no idea what it was when I started watching it. And it was a very pleasant surprise, because when you started seeing Kirk through the ages, and then it's like Spock comes in, and I thought, oh my god, this is fucking awesome. No dialogue. If I remember correctly, I don't think Kirk has any dialogue at all.
No, they just use a movie clip from a movie.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I really enjoyed it. Yeah. Really enjoyed it.
My favorite part, though, and that's how eerie it was they showed the Kirk from the original series.
Yes.
And the look and the movements and the way he stood, it's like, holy fuck.
Yeah, they're there. Yeah, absolutely nailed him. Yeah, I thought, oh my god, that's
there was only one part I felt was a little off, and I don't know. This is a part when the Kirk from the Generations, right?
Yeah.
Was standing there. He seemed like he was just standing a little odd.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Standing a little odd, and like his gut was forced out or something. That was a little weird.
Yeah. There were one or two moments where you could tell that where the CGI started and the live action ended. It's like, you've been caught out there.
Yeah.
But aside from that, it's very, very good, very clever.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it, and I said it's like that one. It made me want to go back and watch I have done back a little bit and go back and watch some of the original series again. Yeah. So,
I've got the first series waiting for me on a impulse buy. I bought the season 1 of the original series. It was very cheap. It's very, very cheap. And I thought, fuck it, I'm going to buy that.
Yeah.
That was before I realised it was actually on Netflix. So I didn't need to buy it. But so I'm going to have to watch it on Amazon just to get my money's worth, even though it's very, very cheap.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to need to watch it on Amazon. Oh, shit, look at the time. Have we...
you need to go?
I told Caroline I'd probably be done by 6.
Oh, if you need to be done, we can be done.
Well, how much more have we got to talk about? I'm not sure.
It's all just jumping around.
No. Yeah, it's just bouncing around. It's fine.
Just bouncing around. The only thing I was going to bring up, what I do is just talk about some trailers I watched. I watched a bunch of trailers again. I had to make sure they were real ones. That's what I was getting to with the other one, right?
Right.
So I watched the live action version trailer for How You Train Your Dragon. We talked about that in the other show. It looks interesting. I'm waiting to see the Scandinavian black girl with the black hair. She's a fine actress and everything but again, it's like, we have to show this, even though it never happened in real life. Maybe, we're going to show this here. The Amateur with the lead actor that played in Queen. I really gotta get better.
Rami Malek.
I
think I saw that. Yeah.
What I really like about this is that it's not a guy that uses his muscles to solve the problem. It's a guy using his brains. And he uses this technology, his brains, how to get back at these people.
He's good in Mr. Robot.
Yeah, he's good in Mr. Robot. He's a good actor. But I thought this is an action movie without the lead actor being an action star.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of very interested in that one. I got Mission Impossible #8, The Final Erection. That's not the title, but that's what I put on there. I watched that. That's fine. Just Tom running.
I watched that trailer. It was fine. I'm going to watch that movie anyway. If it had been any other movie with any other cast, I would have probably watched that trailer and just thought, that looks all right, but I might wait till it comes onto streaming services to watch it.
The only time I get interested when I see Hallie Atwell on the screen.
Yeah.
Then I go,
that's fair.
Yeah.
Do you know why Rebecca Ferguson left that franchise?
Oh yeah.
She left it, but she said, I watched an interview. She said, I left it because they were going to be filming for almost 1.5 years, and I would have had to have been available for 1.5 years. And she said that's a long time to take out of your career for one movie.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they kind of wrote her out of it.
Right.
Okay.
I didn't realize. Having said that, she's been an awful lot because she's been in June, which is like, you don't say no to being in a movie like June.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's making Silo for Apple TV as well.
Yeah.
She's starring in that. She's a lead.
So she said, I would have given up 1.5 years worth of work for On Call, basically. And she said, I can't do it. So
and
that was
then
that.
you putting all your money in, you're putting everything, all your stock in one movie, hoping that it's a success. You know
exactly, and you're not even the star of it.
Yeah.
So.
Meanwhile, Kate Beckinsale's holding on the phone saying, "Well,
I'll do whatever you want. I'll do whatever you want.
Money shot, anything." Y2K. I didn't know what this is. It seems like it's a different time where Y2K actually happens and everything starts coming alive.
Yeah.
Oh,
Transformers.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's not a cinema film.
Oh no! Oh God, no!
Go see
God,
that.
No. And then the last one I watched was another. It was a take on an apocalypse movie, but it's a kids movie. It's called Night of the Zoopocalypse, where this meteor lands in a zoo, and it starts transforming the zoo animals, and how they react to it. I thought that was kind of cute and different.
Yeah.
You know? So this is just the trailers I watched. So anything else, or do you want to wrap this up, buddy? Because you got to wrap it up.
Yeah, I don't really have time to talk about the things that I've got on my list. I'll do it next time.
Yep. Okay. So that's it, folks. We gotta let the one guy Paul go before he gets beaten by the wife. So again, I said last show, everybody who's been downloading the shows, these episodes and the science fiction and thriller classics from old radio, appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. You have plenty of other choices to go out and listen to, and it just seems now it's just everybody who is famous now is throwing out a podcast. You know, they're taking all the content from, like, we're secondhand wave radio. You know, the ham radio guys? The ham radio guys?
They're stealing our internet money.
Yeah. We're the ham radio now because we're so low key. So until next time, folks, thanks for tuning in. We're on Blue Sky now, but I'm not ready to give that out yet. I think I want to keep that private. And I'm not all the way off X. And I want to thank you guys for going on Blue Sky. I needed to get off X. I just couldn't handle it anymore. So that's it. Thanks, folks. You guys want to say goodbye?
Goodbye, folks.
There you go.
Bye, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you. My father thanks you. My sister thanks you. And I thank you.
That's all, folks.
Thank you. Come again.
Why, you little?